Welcome to Babies from Beyond, the podcast that gives all babies a voice, whether they are still in spirit or already earthside. I'm Lauren Dionysius, a former registered NICU nurse turned baby soul communicator, and I'm here to share the wisdom of today's babies to guide you on your motherhood journey. Okay, so today we're continuing with another little baby soul communication session where you'll get insight into what today's children and babies want to share with the world. And just letting you know that this has been shared with full permission by Tegan with respect to her journey and also her privacy as well. So as we begin, just to remind you that every woman's journey is different, every soul's journey is different, both parents and also children as well. So there's no right or wrong way here. Just listen, tune in with an open heart and open mind. And just see what may land for you. And if it doesn't, then that's okay as well. So, Tegan, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to see what comes through today. But first, would you like to share just a little bit about your journey and where you're at right now?
Yeah, sure. Hi, thanks so much for having me today. I'm really, really excited. I'm Tegan. I'm a mum of an almost 2-year-old. His name is Mac. He's very cheeky and fun-loving, and I absolutely adore him. We adore him. And we've been trying to extend our family. We had a miscarriage about 4 months ago, and that sort of hit me pretty hard. We're just sort of, navigating that space at the moment, still wanting to expand the family, but patiently waiting.
Yes, absolutely. Like patience is probably the most common theme that comes through. So find a start. It's hardest. Easier said than done, right?
Yeah, really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everyone is aware, have we worked together before? Have we had any other readings or sessions before now?
No, I've not worked with you anything before like this. I'm really, really excited to see what happens and what I can learn from today.
Excellent. And have you had any other types of readings, like psychic readings or tarot readings or anything like that?
I've had psychic readings in the past. I've had like a palm reading in India once. That was interesting. So I've had a few. Okay. Yeah, but not a great deal, not a lot.
Okay. And if I go into things like past lives and things like that, is that something that you're open to hearing about? Okay.
Yeah. Being interested. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to take a moment now to do my thing and call in the souls and the beings who will support us today. So I'm just going to, close my eyes and go silent, and I will be back in a moment. Okay, so I've done my little thing and I'm back. Yeah, I just had to spend some time grounding myself as well, because feel like I was going to be talking 100 miles an hour. So, Okay, so let's go. Is there any particular questions that you have for today's session? Anything that you want me to really focus on?
I had 2 questions. One was in relation to Mac and his dad, my partner, Jake. Jake had a dream about a blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy while we were pregnant. And it's come true. So I would love to know if there's a past life connection together for them. Because I had a dream in my pregnancy and it was twins. So it was very different. And then the other question would be, how can I best support our next baby coming into our family with me still struggling, I guess, from the grief of losing them that first time?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's lean into this. I'm feeling to start with Mac, because when I was setting the intentions, and again I was waiting for that click that I feel when I connect with the baby souls. They have a particular feeling, a particular frequency for me, and so I always wait for that before I start listening and tuning in. And Mac's energy came through. He actually made me laugh, like just being around him. And I know you mentioned earlier that he was cheeky. he just made me laugh. He didn't say anything in particular. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just like his presence.
Yeah.
Is contagious. He's very. I feel like he's very bubbly, very friendly, very energetic. I feel like though he's got his limits. Like he's got limits where if you get to those limits or push those buttons, like I think you'll know about it.
Yeah.
And he's still very very much a newbie on the earth, and everything is exciting to him, and it's like a big adventure. He's like, I have this. It's coming through clearer now. It's like I have this whole playground to explore, and I have this like big wide world, and I don't know where to start. Is his feeling that I'm getting from him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, an absolutely beautiful soul. He actually has a very pure energy. Which makes me feel like maybe he's a soul that possibly hasn't been to Earth. He has been to Earth, but I feel like he hasn't necessarily been a frequent flyer. He's been coming for eons and eons and eons. Those souls tend to feel a little more grounded and a little bit heavier, not in a bad way. It's just their frequency can be a little bit slight variation. But yeah, Mac's soul is it's not a young soul either. I don't tend to like using young soul, old soul, because it kind of feels a little bit judgy, to be honest. But I feel like, yeah, he's a what he's saying, he's just like clarifying things. He's like, I'm a newer soul to Earth. So roll with that. And these souls tend to be perhaps a little bit more excited by the whole idea of Earth as well. So that's what I'm sensing from him.
Very accurate.
I love it. That's good. I love just
everything. Yeah, everything is just wow for him, and we're always just like, wow, look, wow, like we really light up, and he lights up. It's awesome.
And I feel like that's what he is reawakening in you and Jake at this time as well, is that awe and wonder for the world, because we sort of lose that right as we get older and we become adults and we become more serious and all of that. So I feel like a big part of what Mac's doing is to really reawaken that energy in you guys as well. And he's saying me like it's only just began. So there's plenty more where that came from.
So wait.
So yeah, just want to sit more with Mac's energy. He is quite firm at the moment, actually, around not having a sibling at this time. He's saying that he does need more time to land here. And I feel like, yes, it's for Mac's reasons, but also for it's actually going to be helpful for this next child as well. Because, and I will say, like, I do feel another soul around you, and I'll go into that soul in a moment, but it feels like for both their benefits right now or advantages, feels like Mac needs a little bit more time here. He's still in wonder of the world is what he's sharing. But also, like, this next soul that I feel, it has a very, very different energy to Mac, almost the opposite. And my sense is that this next soul will be, it's like Mac's energy will almost like bulldoze this second child.
Okay.
Like, it feels like it's advantageous for both of them to have a little bit more of a gap. And I'm not talking like years and years and years. It's a little bit longer, because it's Mac needs that, and I feel like maybe even this new soul needs it more than Mac, because of Mac's energy. But yeah, but that I said, like, really, really beautiful soul. When I tune into, I just want to make sure, it was Jake, wasn't it? Your partner's
Yes,
like,
Jake. Yeah.
So when I tune into like the soul history or the energy around them, I do feel a connection there. It doesn't necessarily feel past life, although it could be. But what I'm feeling is that when we talk about energy and frequency, again, higher, lower, it's just different. Like, I don't see it as better or worse. But what I feel energetically is that his frequency is more aligned with as in Mac's energy is more aligned with Jake's energy than it is with your energy. I feel like Jake, and again, like he's not here, so I don't want to talk to him, but like I feel with his soul's energy, I feel like there's a little Mac inside Jake. I feel like it may go AWOL at time. I think covered over by life, or it's kind of been like squashed down, but I feel down on the soul level. And it's interesting, I just kind of got that's where you're actually feeling a twin energy. Because they're, and not, again, this is not necessarily past lives or that they were twins in past lives. It's more the frequency between the two at their core, at their essence, like on the soul level. Feels very similar, almost like two peas in a pod. But Jake, having been here on the earth for a while now, it's kind of what the feeling I get from him is it's like it's just been pushed down and pushed down under all the layers of his life, what's happened in his life, all of these things, and it's kind of pushed down there. But when you go to sleep and when you dream, that's when your soul kind of has like this sense of freedom, like the soul gets to travel, it gets to go places, it gets to, you know, have a little bit more of a longer, a little bit more space from the human body while still remaining connected. And so I feel like what I'm hearing and feeling from Matt, because it's like I was able to connect to the part of Jake that's the same as me in my dream. And that's I feel he came through as accurately, like, yeah, is how it feels. And again, I feel like, yeah, again, Jake's energy now has kind of covered that up a little bit. And I actually feel for Jake as well, and whether he's aware of it or not, I actually feel like some of the grief that this miscarriage brought on for him is also around his, like, almost grieving his own inner little boy who may be inside. Again, I'm going to leave Jake, so I'm feeling like intuitively to not talk too much about him while he's not here. Moving then on to the dream that you had, Tegan, like what I was feeling like when you were pregnant with Mac is that you were connecting with both Mac and Jake's energy, and that's where the twin energy came through. So that's what
I went and did a pregnancy massage with Mac, and this lady, she was a Reiki healer, and she's like, "Are you sure you're not having twins?" I'm like 30 weeks pregnant, doll. I'm not having twins. So, and she's like, "Are you sure?" And she kept questioning me. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure."
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it's always like important to ask the questions, right? Because it'll be very easy to assume with like the twin dream that you had and also this Reiki practitioner, no disrespect to her at all, but it is very easy to feel that twin energy and then assume. And that's why it's always like, okay, what's really going on here? And it can often be it can be simpler than we think, or it can be past life, or it can be similar to more of a symbolic thing or representative of a particular dynamic, which as I said, like I feel for you were picking up that twin energy between Mac and Jake in your pregnancy, because, you know, during your pregnancy, a lot of women, like their intuition expands and they can become a lot more connected to the soul realms. And again, add that to the dream space and it can be a really potent and powerful time. But maybe it's my own inner left brain or my own inner skeptic. I always like ask like why, like, or what does that really mean? Is there something else going on? So that's how it feels for me that you're picking up on their energy. But I feel like, yeah, I'm feeling to go to this next soul in a moment. But hang on, I'm just feeling Mac has something else he wants to share before he moves on. This is going to be the pattern, by the way, for you guys. I'll just give you the heads up now. That will, and you probably know this already, but I feel like Mac has like always got to have the last word too. It's this feeling of And especially when another child comes in, I think it will be part of his, maybe a little bit of competitiveness or rivalry or maybe envy, but I feel like he will want to have like the last word. Like,
He very much, because I've got some friends with babies a little bit younger than him, maybe about 8 months, and he's very like, it's my mummy. Don't you cuddle my mummy. Even with Jake and I, sometimes he's like, Daddy, get off mummy. Mummy, get off daddy. Like, this is mine. You're mine. He's very protective or I guess obsessive. I love it. Like, cute. It's so cute.
Yeah, it is. It is cute. It is sweet. And I think too, that's, that's also his developmental age as well and where he's at. But it's also, I feel too though that he can also sense another child's energy around him too. And he knows, like, before he even came, that he wouldn't be the only one. Like, I do feel that really strongly. So there can be that soul understanding or knowing that they're not coming to be like the only kid in the room, right? The only kid in the family, but try telling that to like a 2-year-old, right? They're not understand that. So there is a little bit of, and it's nothing wrong, but I can do sense like a little bit of a push-pull between Mac and his soul, his own soul. It's almost like his soul's like, hey mate, gotta remember, like it's not all gonna be about you, but when everything revolves around you. So it's I guess I'm trying to say is like I'm not sensing. Yeah, it'll be challenging with the second child, but it's what hearing from Mac is he's up for it. He knows it. He's up for the challenge. It's just gonna be what that looks like on the ground. So yeah, I'll just see like if there's anything else that okay, he's gonna come back at the end. Of course, right? Because it's like now, like later. But I'm like, okay, that makes sense with what he was saying about it's got to have the last word. So that's okay. We can give him that. I've had a few souls like recording these episodes that have been like that actually.
Yeah.
So so let's now go to this other soul who's like, and I'm just trying to like get a feel for their energy. When I read the energy of this future child, it feels like a masculine energy, but I kind of don't necessarily feel it's going to be a boy. It's like this feeling that I get because when I talk about masculine and feminine energies, it's the soul's energy, the soul's essence. It's not indicative of the biological sex, and we can have a masculine soul that can be a boy or a girl and a feminine soul that can be a boy or a girl. It's more their personality traits. And I say this a lot because I think it's something that is really important. So when I feel into the energy of this masculine soul, that at this point in time anyway is the dominant energy that they are using to communicate and share with me. This soul's also saying that this is the energy that I will need for my journey with Mac. Because
that's fair.
And again, even though they're going to be a different energy, because I feel Mac's energy is very masculine as well. So it does feel this soul has a masculine energy, but as I think I said at the beginning, like they're also going to be very different. So you can have two masculine feeling souls, but even how that energy shows up in their personality, their behavior, like all of those things can be quite different. So, but I feel like they're also going to balance each other in different ways as well. So I feel like they're not confirming the biological sex for me, which is either like they don't want to tell me, maybe they're going to come to you in a dream around it. But yeah, it's like more about the energy and the journey as part of like the family dynamics feel particularly important for this child as well. So I feel like while Mac is kind of like all about me, and I feel like he will grow out of a lot of that, but there will still be that kind of inner strength in him, or that like extroversion, I feel like is going to continue. Whereas for this next child, like they feel like a little bit more introverted alongside that masculine energy. So I feel like with this child, it's, you know, a bit more just pointing that or channeling that masculine energy into other things. I feel like for Mac is like channeling that masculine energy, that go, go, go action type energy into the world around him. Whereas I feel like this child will be channeling that in a different way. I feel like this next child will be quite maths or science oriented, or have like it's like a lot of this child's energy is more in the brain, in the like the thinking, the trouble solving, the conflict resolution, the new ideas, creativity. But it feels like in quite a what's the word, like a methodical kind of way. Yeah, feels like a lot more intentional. Not to say that Mac's not intentional, it's just a different expression of that masculine energy. So, which I think, you know, behaviorally, this next child will be a little bit more, possibly, like, I wouldn't say they're fully introverted, but more introverted than what Mac is. So again, very different, will require different things from you, different ways of parenting even. Actually, these children too will need different boundaries at different times, which could be a challenge, especially for Mac. But again, nothing wrong with that. It's just something to give you the heads up to, something to give you the heads up to navigate through the journey. I want to go to your miscarriage now, but is there any questions around what I've mentioned so far?
No, you've pretty much pinned Mac down to a T. And I did have those similar feelings because when I found out I was pregnant with a new baby, I did talk to Mac about it. I was like, you're going to be a big brother. You're going to be the best big brother. And then I had this thought in my head, what if he's not ready? And then, so I kind of intuitively felt like kind of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with like sort of the masculine energy, we both thought we were going to have boys, a boy family. But I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
When we didn't find out with Mac because of surprise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it could even be like similar with this one as well. And sometimes if, you know, if it gets to that point and you want to keep it a surprise, then they often won't share that information either, because it's like, well, I'm not going to ruin the surprise.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure if I even want to find out for the next 1 hour. I think that's really nice. Thank you, darling. Thank you, my baby.
Because I think they know that, like, because I'm someone that, like, if you don't want me to share the information, then don't tell me, because everything that comes through I'm going to share, because I'm like, I don't feel it's my place to censor or filter what I share or not share, because that's only based on my filters or my, you know, my perspective. So I'm like, if you don't want somebody to know something, then don't tell me.
Yeah,
to say it. So that means. But I am feeling to go to your miscarriage now. And I feel it's the same soul, you know, this masculine feeling soul we've been talking about. I do feel that it was this soul that came to you first. It doesn't feel like the soul came and then left again. But I feel like I'll call this soul a he, even though I don't know, just based on the masculine energy. I feel like he'd never planned to stay. This was a soul who came and then knew that he would only be here for a certain amount of time, and then left again, knowingly that he would leave again. And this was a couple of things, and we've kind of covered this already, I feel, but it's around, one is like Mac not being ready, I mean. So it can be, how do I say this? Sometimes souls will come even when the siblings aren't ready. But it's not It's to help. And this sounds, again, sometimes we need to separate the soul perspective from the human perspective, because the soul perspective can be quite brutal and confronting. But basically, this soul is saying that this particular miscarriage was to help delay to give Mac more time, and also to delay another child coming into the family. So it's pushed. So the purpose of this miscarriage, it was to push back or delay the timelines a little bit for a soul coming to the earth. So it wasn't just for Mac either. I also feel for this child. It was also helping this child or this soul to acclimate a little bit to like the earth's energies, or to feel he's saying to get a little bit closer to Mac without being too close. That's why I'm laughing. So it's kind of, like a little bit of a taster for this soul and Mac's energy as well. Even though as a 2-year-old, he's not going to be consciously aware of that, but on an energetic level, he would have felt the presence of this baby's soul, which again, on an energetic level, not so much the 3D human level, is actually helping to prepare Mac for having another sibling.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all kind of happening in the ethers and in the energy fields rather than Mac's 2-year-old human self. But that was also part of it. And it was also to, I'll just see how this is going to come through.
I'm writing for it.
No, it's nothing bad, I don't think. Let me just feel it's like, it's in relation to grief, and it's in relation to you and Jake's experience of grief. I'm feeling, as I mentioned earlier, like some of it is around Jake's grief at the loss of his own inner playful self. Again, just there's like a layer, something around that. But there's also for some of the grief that you're feeling. And look, I'm feeling for Jake, the majority of the grief that he's feeling is around the loss of this child, of course. But as I mentioned, a layer of that is almost like the loss of his own inner child. But with you, I feel like a lot of the grief that's coming up for you, only some of that is yours. A lot of it for you, I'm feeling, is based on it could be other experiences or other situations that were sad, heartbreaking, like experiences of loss for you in this life, earlier for you, like another layer of those levels of loss and grief that are coming up. And I always see grief, and especially pregnancy loss, as a portal for grief. So it's like, I see it almost as like a volcano that erupts at the loss of a baby, and there's all this energy that moves through that volcano, and different amounts of that or fractions of that are related to the loss of the baby itself. But there's other grief that's been suppressed or not felt or not acknowledged or ignored, and it can be from your life, it can be from your parents, like further back through the family tree, where things would happen and you would just pull your socks up and get on with life. Things like this happen, and then again, if it's part of your journey and part of what you're here to perhaps work with or work through, then pregnancy loss can offer a really powerful portal for some of this suppressed grief to literally spew out of, is like the image that I'm getting. So that's what I'm feeling for you, and not to dismiss your grief at the loss of this child and this pregnancy, but also it feels like a significant amount of that hasn't even been yours to carry. It's been from your mum, your grandmother, possibly your father's side of the family as well in this life I'm talking about, and also from your life earlier than where you are now. And that's not even going into past lives and all of that, which absolutely have an impact and an influence on our energy and our experiences in this life.
Yeah.
And so as I'm sharing all this, you know, this soul, this masculine feeling soul, this future soul is very clear and very, it actually has this sense of awe at the power of this miscarriage, not only for him and his journey and Mac's journey, but also for you and Jake's journey as well. And that power, even though it's very deep, extremely painful, and of course it's going to rock you to your core, the soul sees that perspective as incredibly powerful and incredibly healing and huge opportunities for growth and expansion, even though it can feel nothing like that when you're going through the process. So yeah, is there any questions around that? Anything that you want me to clarify around that?
No, not to clarify, but I guess just to sort of speak to what you were saying as well. Like, I have been feeling really heavy. Like, I feel like I'm good. And then all of a sudden it's not. And it's really heavy and it's sort of suffocating. So it kind of makes sense because it's like, I feel like, why is it still so heavy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the different layers that you're going through as well. Again, not only your own layers, but ancestral layers that are in your DNA, like in your cells that are coming up. And the way we, or at least my understanding and experience of grief personally, but also doing this work, is that, you know, it can be too much for our human selves to feel all of the grief all at once. And we get it over and done with in a week. You know, we need to, as humans, we need to feel it in layers otherwise it can be too overwhelming. And as you're already feeling, like that sense of smothering. But what I'm feeling for you too is it's like, and this may be something for you to reflect on and look at, is I feel some of that heaviness too is caused by like a disconnection with yourself. So whether that it feels like, you know, possibly like a spiritual connection, like a little bit of a disconnect between you and your own soul, or you and your own heart as well. Because I think if we sort of, not that you've like, that connection is severed or that you're disconnected, but it's just this little bit of like, you need to, and you can do this, you can call your soul to come closer at any time, or call on if you feeling, or if you believe, or if this resonates with you around having spirit guides or angels or anything like that. Like, you can call on them, call on your soul, call on God, the universe, like whatever resonates. There's no right or wrong way, but it's basically this, the way I see it is it's this part of you that is bigger than you, and that you can feel a deeper connection to. Because yeah, that heaviness, I feel some of it's yours. And actually there's a really good, it just popped into my mind, so I'll share this now. I do recommend this actually a lot to different people, but there is a YouTube video by one of my teachers who I resonate with a lot, Lee Harris, and he has this, I think it goes for 9 or 10 minutes. It's this little meditation on YouTube. You can search for it, and it's called I Release Any Energy and Emotions That Are Not Mine. And even something like that, where you're not only, it can be hard to connect to yourself when you're carrying other people's stuff on your shoulders. So one thing I know that helps me is to release what's not mine, and then I'm left with what is mine. And then that connection can become clearer and more established and more stronger. So yeah, so try that to help release what's not yours, because it's not your responsibility either to be processing everybody else's grief either. It's like recognizing that, oh, is this mine? I don't think this is mine. It's like, okay, send it back to who it belongs to. Like, it's not your job you're not responsible for other people's energy, emotions, even if it's in your DNA. I think a big part of like ancestral healing and familial healing is to understand what's ours and what's not to work with. because we don't need to work with everyone else's stuff just because they weren't able to.
Yeah. Would that,
Any questions around that?
yeah, would that still be the same? Like, does it have to be someone in my sort of like bloodline that I'm feeling that energy, or could it be?
No. Yeah, it can be. You mean like outside of you mean more like in your friendship circles or somewhere outside the circle, your friend?
Yeah, Jake or other friends. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because if there's, there can be some of that, especially this whole grief portal has been awoken with the loss of this bub. But when you're feeling that grief, then you often, I don't want to say resonate, that's not really the right word, but you could often feel other people's grief more deeply.
Like it just escalates. It's like when I feel it, and then all of a sudden it's a lot of feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's about like, is this really all mine? Because my sense is that those big, deep, heavy feelings that are coming up, they're not all yours. And so if you can, as I said, this quick little 10-minute meditation, I use it often, especially doing this work, and I want to like release, like clear my own energy. So it's just me that's left. So I'm like, okay, what am I working with in myself today? Then, yeah, as I said, something as simple as like that little 10-minute meditation can really help you to, whether it's Jake, whether it's friends, whether it's other people, whether it's things you read online as well. We can pick up all different bits and pieces in our day that we don't need to. But unless we know it's there, we can't really do anything intentional to move. Yeah. Anything else, or how are you feeling at the moment?
Yeah, no, like this sort of, once we had the miscarriage, I felt a huge disconnect between myself, I can't even explain the feeling, but like that sort of, then I went to a Reiki healer, I went and did acupuncture, I went and did chiro and kinesiology just to sort of try and find some, I guess, alignment, because I didn't feel aligned with me and I didn't understand I was just trying to make sense of it all, basically, and it just wasn't making sense.
Yeah.
Still not really, but
yeah.
Try.
And some things don't, right? Sometimes it's like, sometimes that clarity can only come over time as well.
And I'm the most impatient person in the world, so this timing and waiting is really, really hard for me. Really hard.
And that's what I was just about to say. It comes back to the patience and the timing, which is so much easier said than done. But it's
like, it's almost just like, why did you give me this little bit of hope? Why?
Yeah. But it's also, planting seeds, showing you that it's absolutely possible, I think. And what this soul's actually sharing now, just sort of popped in because he sort of went quiet there for a bit, is like, I showed you that I'm here. And it might be a bit, well, why didn't you just come and stay? Like, why have to like pop in for a bit? As I said, I feel like it's in relation to Mac, it's in relation to you, it's in relation to Jake. Even though, yes, this miscarriage was like the what's the word? Oh, it's like right on the tip of my tongue. It's like the initiator, or like the trigger, like the trigger for this grief. A lot of this grief was already in you. A lot of this grief was already inside you as well. And then it's erupted, it's come out of you in response to this miscarriage. So again, this is where we need to separate a little bit with the soul and the human self. But like on the soul level, it's like, again, easier said than done. It's like, but it's better for you and your journey and Mac and Jake and all of you that this portal has been able to be opened and a lot of this energy has been able to move and come up than before going into another pregnancy, because this child will feel that. Like this child will, if that's inside of you, they're going to pick up on that on some level. And look, kids do all the time. We all have to like come into our mother's wombs and grow there for 9 months and be born. So we can't avoid picking picking up stuff, and the point is not to avoid it. Like, we don't need to protect them from that because they know what they're coming into. But fortunately or unfortunately, depending whether you're looking at the soul perspective or the human perspective, grief can be like, a very powerful portal to clear out some of this energy that will impact your womb space, your energy field, and also the experience of pregnancy for this next soul as well. Which again, it's hard to even think about when you're in that grief cycle. So don't try to get any of this to land, but just, it may be like a few months before, you can look back in hindsight and see some of the power of this experience for you. But I do feel that this soul is going to return. I don't feel it will be before Mac turns 3, as in the birth. Conception can be before the age of 3, but I don't feel that birth before Mac is 3. I feel it would be too early for him. I feel like he needs more, as I said, more time on his own. When I lean into the timelines, and again, it is only timelines, I just tune into the trajectory of the energy at this point in time. I do feel, as I said, after the age of 3, possibly like 3.5, even for Mac. And I feel then energetically he'll be a lot more grounded on the earth. It's like he'll be planted more here. At the moment, he kind of feels like one of those, I don't know what you call it, like those, like tumbleweed. Like how his energy feels at the moment. But whereas I feel like by the time he gets to around that 3 mark, 3.5, he'll be a bit more like like a baby tree is the word that comes to him. So it's a little bit, has like some roots there, even if they're like on the shallow side, but he's a bit more connected to the earth, to himself, to the world around him. Energetically, a little bit more robust is the words that come through as well. So so hopefully that helps to just give a little more hope and reassurance that there is a child on the way. Like, I do feel that really strongly, and that they are committed because they've been once, and I do feel that they will return. I do feel that, I mean, I could be wrong with this, and I'm always hesitant to say it. I'm only saying it because it's coming through clearly to me right now, is that this soul is not going to need a series of losses before they come to Earth. I'm not getting that sense. I mean, I can't guarantee there won't be any more losses, but what I'm sensing right now is that was kind of the one thing that was needed. And even though, as I said, I can't guarantee there won't be any more losses, but I'm not getting that sense right now. So, is there any more questions before we wrap up, or did you want to share anything about like how that feels, how that lands for you?
I think it's really hard to hear, in a sense of, I guess, selfishness of me wanting a family. That missing piece, I want them so bad to be part of the family, and knowing that it's going to be a lot longer than what I want is really hard to accept, I think. And
And absolutely, because we do, when that longing is there and that desire is there, it's, it's powerful, it's potent, it's real, and we want that to be realized and recognized and honored. And as I said, like with those timelines, like they can shift and change. Like timelines they're not set in stone. So, I mean, I'm just reading the energies for today. Like, in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months time, like those timings or timelines could look different to what I said. But right now I'm feeling, again, looking at the big soul picture and everyone that's involved, and the time for, you and Jake to process and integrate this experience, and also for Mac to become a little more grounded and earthed on the earth, looking at the bigger picture and all the souls and people involved, like that timeline feels most accurate now. But as I said, that can change. So it's not to say that it's not possible before Mac is 3. It's just that's not what the energies are telling me right now. But that doesn't mean that it can't change. So please don't lose hope or feel that, oh my God, I'm going to have to wait because things can and do shift. And I've seen this happen where babies have shared, I'm 2 years away. And then, we have a reading 6 months later and things have shifted a lot because something's happened or something has shifted, and it has shifted the timeline. So stay connected to that longing, that desire. Allow that to be your guide, your truth, like what is driving you forward and helping you to move forward and closer to those timelines, while also knowing that, as I said, a timeline is just a timeline. It's just I see it as like a ribbon of energy that is the most likely at this time, but it's not set in concrete. Again, ribbons can move. It's not like a block of cement,
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't lose hope around this. I wish I could say, I feel it happening like next month. And honestly, if that's what the energies would tell me, that's exactly what I would say. But yeah.
I guess it's just like a mind thing for me. Like, we've been actively trying. Like, do we stop? Do I wait? It's just this between me, push and pull. Like, I just don't know what to do. How to heal through this. Like, is waiting gonna help me heal? I don't know if it is.
Not necessarily. I'm not feeling that for you. I feel like continuing to try is actually what's going to help you heal, because it's going to move you closer to where you want to be. And feeling into your energy, correct me if I'm wrong, or you don't have to say anything, but like what I feel with your energy is that it is important for you. I do sense some of that masculine energy in you, where it is important for you to take action, to do things, to feel like you're moving closer to where you want to go, rather than just, being, sometimes when I connect with like really floaty feminine energies, they're all like, oh, it'll happen when it'll happen, and all like,
For me. Not me.
So
when I want something, I go and get it.
Exactly. And like neither is right or wrong. It's just but it is, with some of the masculine energy, some of the shadow side of that is, as you've already mentioned, the impatience, and that can be really challenging. But also that you can honor that more masculine side of you. Like, I'm not getting any sense of like, stop trying, you have to wait like 6 months or anything like that, because that will mess too much with your head. And I think with your energy, and even if these timelines do play out as they're feeling today, even if they don't shift, then your journey between now and then is going to be much, I won't say it's going to be easy, but it's going to be easier if you're continuing to actively try.
Yeah.
As long as you can. Because if you take a break and say you take 6 months and like, I'm not going to try, we're going to let things rest, whatever. And look, sometimes that's the wisdom that comes through for women. It's like, take a break, like replenish your body, all of that. Not getting that for you, but I do feel that.
I don't feel like I can do that either.
No. And sometimes, as I said, that it could make the journey more challenging, regardless of the timeline.
Yeah.
Like that, even if the timeline even if it plays out like I've said, your journey to that point will be made easier through action rather than no action, if that makes sense, even if it doesn't affect or influence the timing. So there's nothing to say stop, or you have to put everything on pause. Keep doing, keep trying, but also reminding yourself that there's a lot of other energies at play at the moment.
Yeah.
And in the spirit world, our desires, our feelings and all that are acknowledged, but there can be a bit of a time lapse with how they are fulfilled. But our human selves don't deal with that very well. Like, I get that, but sometimes that is part of the journey and the preparation for receiving these children as well. Is the patience, that awful P word that nobody loves. Okay. How are you feeling? That was a big session.
Yeah, no, it's hard because I see myself as like 2 or 3 children. I'm getting older, that sort of timeline. I'm like, you've got that timeline in your head. It's just hard to accept that it doesn't all go to plan how you think it will.
Yeah. It's challenging, and and it's easy to get caught up in the age thing, and I'm running out of time, or all of these things, because the reality is, right, as women, we biologically have things happen that affect us. But in this work, I've learned that baby souls, like, they know that, they have an understanding of that, they know that they have a window, like, absolutely, that's there, but they probably focus on that. It's probably like 10% of their perspective, where it's here on the earth, it can be like consuming. It can be like 90% of what we focus on. Like, the clock is ticking, we're getting older, the ridiculous age. I think last time I've heard, like, doctors are calling women geriatric mothers when they're like 32 years old. It's like, it blows my mind. So when you're around that, then it's very hard to not take that on, to not take that energy on. But I think that's where we need to lean into the trust of these babies and these children, that they're the ones coming, and they're kind of the ones, like, leading the charge at the moment. We can support them, we can welcome them, we can invite them, we can be here, give them opportunities to come. At the end of the day, they need to take that leap and come to us. So but again, easier said than done for us humans who are boots on the ground. So
definitely give me some clarity. Like, just I don't know whether I was intuitively feeling what you talked about, and like it was just like, it was just something I needed to hear, that yes, that's what you were feeling, and he's right.
Some confirmation. Okay, well, let's wrap things up here. Like, I feel today's session was like a big session. It was a deep session. So if this did trigger anything for you, then I really encourage you to find the support that you need in whatever way that may look for you. And I just really want to thank Maxwell for being here. I feel like and his tumbleweed ways, and his energy and his playfulness, and also his insights. I want to thank him for coming to the earth and for joining us all here in this crazy world, as well as this future child as well. I really want to honor your journey and the decisions that you've made, and your role in this whole process, in the family dynamics, in the ancestral circuit is the word that's coming through. So I really want to acknowledge, honor, and I also really respect your journey as well. And of course, Tegan, for being here and for being the human who is on the receiving end of all of these things and these twists and turns and ups and downs and roundabouts. It's very, very brutal and very challenging, especially when it comes to loss. So I just want to, thank you so much for being here, for being so vulnerable, and for being open to receiving this wisdom, but also knowing that, you don't have to take it all on right now. A lot came through, so allow it to land, take what was helpful, park what isn't or isn't yet. Sometimes things, will need time to learn. So, so thank you so much for being here. And if you're listening to this and it stirred something in you, or you're curious about your own baby souls, especially in relation to loss, then please check out the show notes. I've got some different links on how you can understand your journey and your baby's journey more deeply wherever you're at with it all. Thank you for tuning in to Babies from Beyond. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to leave me a review just wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, head over to Instagram and give me a follow at Born Energy. And check out the show notes for more ways that you can connect with your baby soul, including one-on-one readings and online programs to support you. Until next time, trust your journey and your baby. Take care.